Welcome back once again to the Boston Tea Party. We are currently in Bangor, as far north as we're going to travel today, and we're hoping we have enough time. We got about an hour and a half left. We're hoping to be able to pull off two more legs here down to Boston and then into Nantucket. So I'm going to request clearance here first, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's been going on today. And Boston Center, hello again. Duke 626 November with the weather. We'd like to request IFR clearance down to Boston.
November 626 November, Boston. Let's see here. I still have a flight plan on file for you from Manchester to Bangor.
Yeah, my apologies. I changed the route, but I forgot to change the destination airport, so I will refile right now.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's been a little bit of a long day. It's been a fun day.
Boston Center,
but we're closing in now on 5.5 hours of flying, and so little mistakes are starting to creep in. And
Southwest 231 Boston Center.
But for the most part, it's been a really fun event.
And the Nantucket altimeter is 297.
I'm going to make a fuel stop here and get things topped off so that we can head down to Boston, and then our final leg, hopefully, if we have time, will be down into Nantucket. And 626 November, just was going to check on our clearance down to Boston.
Southwest 231, contact Nantucket approach. Sorry, I told everyone here I would take a shot every time I said Nantucket approach, so I have to take a shot in your honor. Southwest 231, contact Boston approach on 132.82.
It's been a long day for the ATC as well. But really good.
Oh god, we get fireball.
Oh boy. Really good ATC. A lot of good traffic along the way.
Bye.
All in all, just a very
November 626
very good day.
November is cleared to the Boston Airport. Bangor 3 departure as filed. Maintain 5,000, expect 8,000, 1 minutes after departure. Departures with me, squawk, same squawk code 3460.
Clear down to Boston. Bangor 3 departure then is filed. We'll maintain 5,000, expect 8,000. We will stay with you for departure frequency and same squawk, 626 November.
626 November. Readback is correct. Runway 33 for departure. Come taxi.
Runway 33, and we're ready to taxi. 626 November.
November 1217 Juliet. Descend and maintain 12,000. Contact Boston Center 134.0. Good night. Down to 12,000, contact Boston 134.0, so long, 17 Juliet. November 626 November, runway 33 taxi, your discretion, call ready.
Runway 33, our discretion, will call ready, number 626 November. All right. We're actually pretty close to where we need to be. Let's get the taxi lights on. Let's get the... Oh, actually, I think I had everything turned on right there. Taxi lights are on, and they're ready to go here. Just a little bit of a left turn, and we are basically right where we need to be, right at the end of runway 33. As you can see, there is a bit of weather up here. The the conditions actually have been absolutely perfect, really, all day long. We've been as far west as Syracuse and now as far north as Bangor, and yeah, it's been really, really good.
On the 423 heavy contact Boston Center 126.22.
This storm has popped up here, though, here recently. It's kind of hit us as we got north of Portland, and so anyway, we've had to deal with that a little bit. It was a little bit bumpy, but for the most part, not a lot of precip, but the lightning seems to be a little bit worse now that we've been on the ground. Ooh, I know something I want to do here real quick.
National 475, Boston Center, clear to the Nantucket Airport. Via present visit direct to Millinocket Bar.
I had turned down the engine sounds here earlier. We had a bit of a quiet controller, so I turned that down. Now that we're back here and everything is sounding great,
475, read back correct.
those engine sounds back on.
15 miles northeast of the Bangor VOR, flight level 180.
Okay, so looks like we're going to have to track Bangor VOR outbound here for at least a little while. We do have Kennebunk 117.10 plugged in for the inbound when we get to that point. And let's see, let's just adjust the trim here. Flaps are set for takeoff. Landing lights can come on. We will be, the departure is, as we depart, 330 is our heading.
Climb and maintain flight level 220.
We're still tracking that VOR. Actually, what are we tracking here? We don't want to track that. Well, maybe that's what we have to. 114.8. Okay, yeah, let's change that. We're not going to get very far if we're tracking the runway VOR. Okay, 114.8. And that'll be our outbound at about, once we get going, at about a 240 outbound radial. So I think we're ready to go. The Boston Duke 626 November holding short 33, ready for departure.
November 626 November, fly runway heading. Winds at Bangor 3109, runway 33, clear for takeoff.
Runway heading and clear for takeoff, runway 33, 626 November. Alright. Prop and mixture full forward. Final is clear. Runway's clear. I think we have half a chance of pulling this off, ladies and gentlemen. We were a little bit worried about having enough time. We visited 8 different airports, or we will if we make it all the way back to Nantucket. We will have visited, landed at, full stop landings, might I add, 8 different airports, and basically made a complete loop from Nantucket, as just about as far west as you can go, and then just about as far really north and east as you can go in this airspace. There's rotation speed, positive rate of climb, and the gear will come up. Flap speed. And on our way down to Boston. Should be just about an hour to Boston, and then it's a pretty short hop, around a half an hour or so down to Nantucket. So yeah, be interesting to see if we can make it. We have to be, if I understand the rules correctly, we have to be on the ground. We have to be landed no later than 5 o'clock Eastern Time. The 626 November, climbing 1,700. So we have to get to Boston.
November 626 November, radar contact. Climb and maintain 8,000.
Climb and maintain 8,000, 626 November. And
Lufthansa 402, heavy contact Boston Center 134.0.
well, it's just going to be a challenge. Let's put it that way.
Boston Center, American 955, with you 1,000, climbing 1,000.
And I tell you what, somehow I don't have.
Sorry, say again?
American 955, with
That
you
altitude arm here.
2,000 now, climbing 14,000.
Pull the power back.
American 955, Boston Center, climb and maintain flight level 230.
Climb and maintain flight level 230, American 955.
We do have a 747 who is flying our general direction. Actually, no, they're clear of us now, so we should be in good shape. See how much longer they have us on this northwesterly heading. Wait, actually, let me see. As filed was the clearance, so we can turn. We need to turn direct, or not direct, but we need to be heading away from southwest here down towards Kennebunk. Echo November Echo. And hopefully, with any luck here, we will have that 117.1 VOR pop into play here soon. We will try to climb out on the 240 outbound radial, and we are a little bit west, of course, so we're going to go ahead and come back around about 210 and see if that we can pick that guy back up. And speed's getting a little bit on the low side, so we're going to increase power ever so slightly.
November 101 Golf Bravo, field date 12 o'clock in about 20 miles.
All right, what can I tell you here? Well,
Golf Bravo, look at the joint. Centimeter 8 of Lewis with you to Jet 8 Delta Lima.
I was just about to
November 8 Delta Lima, Boston Center, climb and
tell you what my
190.
poker hand looks like. I can tell you this, it's not great. It is not great. So
Delta 258 heavy, Boston Center, climb and maintain for level 230.
So I initially drew a 6 of clubs and a 4 of hearts.
230, Delta 258.
And that was kind of a little bit of an error, and that's in the first tree. We actually were intending to fly from Albany to Bradley, but we got vectored into Providence on accident. But anyway, we were able to pick up 2 cards instead of 1, as we did fly from Providence into Bradley. So we started out again with the I'm trying to look at it here just to confirm, with the 6 of clubs, 4 of hearts, and we picked up the 6 of diamonds.
Regular 955, connect Boston Center 126.22.
126.22, American 955.
Sorry, I'm communicating with the poker center So anyway, 6 of clubs at Providence, 4 of hearts at Bradley. Then we picked up the 6 of diamonds at Syracuse. So at least we had a pair. And I'm thinking, hey, you know, maybe full house, something along those lines. Whoops. Pay attention here. Okay, we're at cruise. Turn the taxi landing lights off. And prop sync on. Bring our power back just a little bit, but we are going to push just slightly. Again, we got to make some time here, so hopefully that'll help. We don't want to overstress the engine. Once we picked up that second 6, though, it kind of didn't really materialize a whole heck of a lot. We picked up a Jack of Hearts, excuse me, as we landed at Albany. 7 of diamonds at Manchester. After that, we decided to discard the Jack. I was hoping for maybe a straight at that point. When we got to, let's see, we got up to Bangor, we picked up a 10 of hearts. And so at that point in time, I figured, you know what, it's really, the straight is probably out. So I got rid of the 4 of hearts. So right now I currently have a 6 of clubs, a 6 of diamonds, and that's not right. He's saying 4 of hearts, 10 of hearts, and a 7 of diamonds. Yeah, that's not quite right, because I wanted to discard that 4 of hearts. Alright, I'm gonna have to be working on that as we fly. But in terms of the flight itself, it's really been very, very good. The first leg had all of the fiascos so far that have occurred. We had a very difficult time communicating with the departure frequency at Nantucket, and then we ended up, like I say, getting vectored in and actually landed at an incorrect airport. And then to top it off, I didn't get the flaps retracted in time, and I actually broke the flaps, and so I ended up landing into Bradley with broken flaps. So we had to do a quick fix there, and we're back in the Duke. We are ever since then we've been really pretty incident free, I guess. So it's like I say, we'll take it. All in all, like I say, very fun event. It's my favorite event in the VATSIM list of events. There's been some FNOs I think that have been pretty fun as well, but this has been something else. But I'm gonna just really quick, I'm just communicating with the Poker Center controller, because I don't think I have my cards exactly right. So we'll pop outside, we'll kind of have a look around, and I'll be right back with you.
Golf Bravo is turning left down. November 1 Golf Bravo, wind 3109, runway 33, cleared option. Cleared option, runway 33, Duke 1 Golf Bravo, thank you. Left at 475, definitely for 1 minute left at 475. Nice to 465, stay clear for 1 minute please, nice to 435. Aircraft calling Boston Center, some readable, about 1 by 5. National 475, roger. Listen to good afternoon, Speaker. 52 Golf. 26.1. 424. Speed bed 52 Golf head of Boston Center. Descend via the Ocean 5 arrival, runway 27 transition, Boston altimeter 2974. Ocean 5, 27, and 2974 for Speedway, 52 Golf head. In Boston, Duke 1 Golf was clear 33 and Kilo going to GA. November 1 Golf Bravo, taxi to the ramp at your discretion. To the ramp, thanks, 1 Golf Bravo. 10, we've got traffic out of 12, descending, it's National 475. Say again? Traffic descending out of 12, National 475. Okay, that traffic's 10 miles in front of you, so no factor. Top of that 475.
Boston, third Lydia 8 of Lingo, but 190 overhead Holland. We get decent.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping Portland approached my line, but he never did. So, November 8 Delta Lima, descend and maintain 3000.
Then maintain 3000, isn't heading 8.
November 8 Delta Lima, expect vectors, visual approach runway 29er.
Expect visuals 29, right, Delta Lima, thank you.
Super 52 Golf Heavy, contact Boston approach, 118.25.
Green 8.25, Speaker, it's a copy.
November 8 Delta Lima, turn right heading 140.
Right 1408, Delta Lima.
Sorry about that. Thank you for the heads up, Downwind Sim. So I don't know how much of that everybody heard, but let me just welcome our friend Downwind Sim, friend of the channel. Unofficial, one of many unofficial CFIs that I employ. And yeah, what are we doing? What are we up to? Well, we're in Boston, and it's, as I was saying when I was muted just a second ago, it's hard to believe, but this is the 20th annual Boston Tea Party. I have participated in many of about the last 5 or 6 since I've kind of become a VAT Sim member. But this year's been a little different because I've decided to do the poker run. And so I was just talking about my hand here, and I'm not going to go back through. I just went through like the 10 possible scenarios that I still have left. I don't have squat essentially right now. I've got a pair of 6s, I've got a 4, which I have already committed to discard. I have a 7 and I have a 10. The other cards I've drawn, I have drawn a Jack of Hearts and I have discarded that. So you guys, if you're card players, you can kind of think about the possibilities. I have, like I say, at least 1 stop left, maybe 2 if I can get down to Nantucket in time. But yeah, it's not looking real good at this point. I don't have a ton of stuff in my hand, at least right now, but there are some possibilities. You know, possibilities I could draw some things. There's still some possibilities for full houses. Really, there's a possibility for 4 of a kind all the way down to, you know, 3 of a kind full house, even a straight, if I get real lucky. But, you know, at the end of the day, this has been way more about just a really fun event, which is, again, why I come up here, why I look forward to this, and why it's just something I think it's right at the top of the list for me as far as VAT Sim events. But a great way to kind of kick off the the end of the summer, wrap up the summer months, and get ready for fall. It's just about to be a real busy season for me, as I'm just about, well, I am back at school working, but gonna have some kids back here soon, gonna have some staff back here very soon, and the cuts into the flight sim time just a little bit, so very happy to be able to spend the day today putzing around the beautiful New England area up here, Boston area, Nashua area, I don't know what you call it. Alright, so 64 miles.
Boston Center, November 710
See if we're
Delta Sierra.
picking up. Okay, we are picking up
November 710 Delta Sierra, how can I assist you?
Kennebuck, and so we'll go ahead and engage the nav.
If you far 1,500, I'd like to pick up our high
Here it's going to slide to the left a little bit and get on that radio.
November 716 Delta, correction, 710 Delta Sierra.
So
is clear to the Bar Harbor Airport.
downwind, here's what we've done today.
Radar
We had a little bit of a fiasco of a start. We flew from Nantucket. The first leg was supposed to be Nantucket to Bradley. It actually ended up being Nantucket to Providence.
I have your routing as Marconi J79 Sear. So you would go south to Marconi and then back.
It's one of those.
To Bar Harbor.
You probably wouldn't believe it unless you watched it, but
Any chance we
we actually were vectored incorrectly into the Providence airport, and I was so busy being confused and wondering why none of the frequencies were working. And none of the runways were matching up, that I just flat out didn't realize we were going to the wrong place. And so we actually ended up landing because we just continued on to Bradley, and it actually worked out a little bit. Worked out pretty well for us because we picked up a quick poker card right there, but that was an unplanned stop, and that was how we started. Now, the other thing that happened is we actually, well, I flew through my flap speed and broke the flaps on the way from Providence to Bradley. And so that cost us a little time because we had to stop and we had to make repairs, which essentially it amounts to completely restarting P3D, which is not a quick process for me. So we just pretended that meant that was the time that the mechanic was working on putting in some new threaded screws or whatever you have to do to repair some flaps. So downwind's listening, by the way, on his way driving home. I've done that many times. It's a fun way to pass the time. Downwind has been on the road working like a dog, bringing home the bacon for his family. So once we got that repaired, then we were on our way from Providence to Bradley. That flight went very, very well. We went up from Bradley to Syracuse. That's as far west as we went, and that actually had a little bit of an interesting twist. The controller thought that I don't know if he thought we had missed Albany. The route was through Albany and west to Syracuse, but he actually turned us around. We were just about halfway between Albany and Syracuse, like within, about 60 miles, maybe not quite halfway, but within about 60 or 70 miles of Syracuse. And he turned us around, and then I think he realized that we weren't going to Albany. We were actually going through Albany to Syracuse, and we got back on track. But little things like that, as I look at the time ticking away, less than an hour to go now, those things
November 8 Delta Lima, turn right heading.
Those things make a big difference.
The runway 29er in.
But
report the airport
like I say, you know what? It's been fun, win, lose, or draw. It's been. And I'm actually taking a look at my log. I'm counting it up with that extra stop. If we make it back to Nantucket, that'll be 9 legs that we flew today, and we're going to definitely get 8 in 7 hours.
National 475 contact.
And not little short legs. I mean, a guy could do some little short legs, but we did the big ones. Well, not the big ones, but we tried to spread it out a little bit. We tried to make it to all of the different airports that actually had controllers, because I really appreciate what these guys are doing. This is a big event, takes a lot of work, so you know, especially like a place way out there like Syracuse, or way up high, way up north like Bangor, you need to make sure that you're giving those guys some traffic. So once we made it to Syracuse, we turned back around, headed east into Albany. That was really a beautiful flight. Then Albany into Manchester. Of course, you get into kind of that hilly area. And then Manchester, we turned north up to Bangor, which is where we started this stream, and we're heading down to Boston right now. Trying to keep our fingers crossed. Perhaps we will have enough time. We're 29-ish miles from Kennebunk, and then once we get to Kennebunk, it's a pretty short 66-mile stretch into Boston. Let's see what the ATIS information here is.
There were 8 Delta Lima, sorry for this.
Looks like we have information. Yankee.
November 8 Delta Lima, clear visual approach runway 29er.
And they are landing north, I believe. Winds are 310 at 13 with a gust of 20. Ooh, that could be interesting. Good visibility, 10 statute miles. A few clouds at 6,000. Everything else is above us. Altimeter 2976. Runway 27, runway 32 in use. We will probably be given 32. Well, I shouldn't say that. Oftentimes when they're landing west like that, they do give the smaller planes runway 32, which
310 at 12 gust 22, runway 29er clear to
a little bit longer taxi. Maybe we can just pull over, and we just have to have everything ready to go. I guess we'll just see what happens here. And maybe, you know, it's already 10 after 4, so we only have 50 minutes left. I actually am thinking more and more this may be our last leg.
I forgot myself. Where are you? I'm on Nelly at flight level 230. Should be, stand by. Should be 126.22. Already 126.22, Southwest 3255.
Just trying to check real quickly. I almost am positive that you have to be, that the event ends promptly at 5 o'clock Eastern time, which is I'm sorry, 7 o'clock Eastern time, which is 5 o'clock my time, which is coming up here in about 50 minutes. But I'm going to just double check just to make sure. Yeah, so plan accordingly. There will be no controlling available beyond this time, so the event ends promptly at 7. So we have no chance. Let's be honest. We have no chance of making it from Boston down to Nantucket. In fact, I don't even know if we were cleared direct Nantucket right now. I don't think we would maybe make it in 50 minutes. So we're going to just enjoy this this last leg into Boston, and we, I think, did a pretty good job. I think there was only one airfield that we didn't hit that I didn't realize. Well, it has the event listed, but it doesn't have any controllers, and that's Burlington, which I guess Syracuse also didn't have any controllers, but I like that Burlington airport too. That's up there in the mountains. It's pretty cool, but anyway, we did pretty well, all in all. My wife, it's curious, she asked me, first of all, she said, why do you want to do it? And I said, well, first of all, it's fun, and it's something I kind of look forward to kind of wrap up the summer. I said, and there's a chance, a guy could win a prize or two, and who knows? And she said, well, how much is it to enter? And I said, oh, it's free. The only cost is what it takes to convince your wife to let you be on the flight sim for 7 straight hours. So I'm going to be paying for that for a while, I think. But I got up, I did some honeydews early in the morning, and she said we were good to go. Weather's been good. Honestly, it was the only time we ran into any kind of weather was heading into Bangor, and everything else has been very good. Just kind of like what you see in front of you. Well, you're not seeing because you're listening, but basically clear skies to partly cloudy skies with just a little bit of wind, a little bit of gusty wind in a few spots, but mostly the winds have been 10 knots or less. Now coming into Boston, it looks like that might be a little bit, maybe just a little bit windier than normal. The gusts are kind of what get you. We had gusty conditions out of Nantucket. We had gusty conditions into Providence. I don't remember there being gusty winds at Bradley though. And after that, excuse me, I'm starting to get the yawns here. After that, I don't remember really any kind of issues with gustiness. All right, so 5.5 miles to Kennebunk, and then from there it'll be a turn heading a little more south, 212. So let's set that in our heading bug, and we'll actually pick up the Boston VOR 112.7. We'll be ready to go. If we can get on the ground and get back in the air by 4:30, we filed direct. I wonder if we could get direct. I'm just going to check it out real fast. 26 minutes direct. Man, it's going to be right there, close. It's just not going to happen, guys. It's going to be one of those where we think about the coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Think about the fact that, if I hadn't been given that 360 on the way to Syracuse. You know, that's 10 extra minutes. That might make all the difference. I don't know.
Virginia Delta Lima is clear.
We'll reevaluate when we get on the ground. The other thing about Boston
Vector
is
course filed, maintain 5,000, expect 14,010, squawk
let's
5537.
get heading down where we're heading here to Boston. Is the taxi lengths are kind of crazy, so we have to be cognizant of that as well. All right.
Hey, Delta Lima, read that correct, runway 29, call tech.
212, about 64 miles. Probably be handed off to Boston approach. Get to talk to our. Do I get to talk to our friend here? Yeah, Evan Ryder, Boston approach. Another friend of the channel. Just an all-around great guy. Does a lot of work for the VATSIM community. Does a lot of work promoting Boston Virtual, and really a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of resources. Just very, very helpful all the way around. And I guarantee you, his fingerprints are all over this deal. It's extremely well organized, as all the events down here are. All right, well, we are let's see, on our way down now, under 60 miles, 20 after 4. The event ends at the top of the hour. We need 26 minutes to make it to Nantucket.
On the ground, all on request. The IFR runway 9 remains.
Delivery Delta Lima, runway 29, our taxi to be,
so the rules, Downwind's asking about the rules of the event, the poker run itself. So basically, what a poker run is every time you land at a different airfield, there's a controller that's what they're dedicated to do. They randomly draw you a card, and then you build just a standard 5-card poker hand. And at the end of the event, the best hand wins. And I think they've got multiple prizes, so they probably are gonna, pay out the top 5 hands or the top 10 hands or something like that. But if you have a chance to fly to more than 5 airports, then you can actually discard and draw new cards, which is what we've done. We've been able to, well, when we get on the ground at Boston, we'll have actually drawn 7 cards total, and so 2 of them we've gotten rid of. And yeah, just as an attempt to try to get a little bit better hand. I wonder if I can touch and go. I think it has to be a full stop landing. Yeah, so the distance, the rules say that the airports have to be, they cannot be controlled by the same approach controller. So that I don't know the lingo on that exactly, but a different, I think they call that a different TRACON sector. So like if you took off from Boston Logan and you flew to Manchester, then that Manchester is controlled by the same approach controller essentially that Logan is controlled by, so that would be illegal. Now there is a little bit of a caveat to that, and we may take advantage of this.
626 November, counting Boston, approach 118.25.
1825, 626 November. Thanks for the fun event, man. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, you too.
1825.
Boston to Major A Delta Tango.
I'll tell you about the catch here in just a second. Let me get checked in here.
United 526, welcome to the 158.75.
See if Yankee is still current. It is.
Welcome to
Boston approach, good evening. Duke 626 November at 8,000 with information Yankee, about 50 miles north of the airfield inbound. Oh, that was broken. I have no idea what he just said. And sorry, that was a little broken for 626 November.
Number 626 November, November, expecting on Boston, November 2976, 8 is on the mission, Yankee, expected by that trouble,
2976, we have Yankee, we'll expect the ILS runway 27 approach, 626 November. Yeah, it's a little bit of distortion there. But anyway, so the rules do say within, if it's the last hour, which we're in right now, that you can pick
Boston approach, Westfield 209.
a closer airfield. So we could, for example, we could depart to, let's say, Bedford or
Boston approach,
Lawrence,
Westfield,
or somewhere close to within the same TRACON sector as the Boston Logan Airport. So that's a possibility. Now it has to be a controlled field though. It can't be an uncontrolled field. Left turn 180, 626 November. All right, well, so we'll do a little bit of thinking about that, I guess, because maybe there will be a way, even if we can't get all the way back down to Nantucket, maybe we can get ourselves one more leg. Okay, localizer frequency is 111.3. We will make that active. And the approach course is 272. Right now we're just a little too far away for that to be in effect. But we'll have that set. Got the dogs upstairs enhancing the audio. Man, we're going to be right, like literally right on the edge. We have, it's 24 after. So I got to look. I'm going to have to take a peek here. Manchester is just a little bit closer, and it's actually controlled by a different, so that's not even a problem. It's controlled by a different controller. Let's see, there's Provincetown Municipal. Maybe that will be, maybe Provincetown Municipal is the ticket.
November 26, November turn.
No.
Turn 10 degrees to the right.
10 degrees right, 626 November. That's an uncontrolled airfield, darn it, so that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Let's see. I do have Kingston. That is Oscar Quebec uniform. That could potentially be. Ooh, I also have. Yeah, Providence. I could go down. I guess I could go down Providence. Is that a different sector, I wonder? It's a little closer than Nantucket. Either one, Quonset State or Providence, either one of them would get the job done. Well, there's a few options out there, I guess. But let's get on the ground here at Boston first, and then we will see. So they're landing runway 27, and then they're departing runway 33 left. So I'm going to have to be smart about where I sort of taxi to. So if I land here on 27, maybe I can just kind of taxi into kind of this area right here, maybe even over here, the J-pad parking.
210 knots, Westwind 209.
I could get a
November 626 November, maintain 6,000.
descend and maintain 6,000, 626 November. The taxi out's going to be ugly though, because you have to go clear up to Charlie, so I don't know if that's going to help us. Maybe we'll just go into Cape Air and that's the Charlie terminal. Let me show you what I'm thinking about here. We come in on 27, we'll probably be able to, might even be able to get shut down by, yeah, maybe not. If we get it shut down by Charlie, we can go Charlie into Cape Air and then basically back out to runway 33 left. If we don't get Charlie, we'd probably go Echo Mike Charlie, which is not that much difference. But I need to.
November 626 November, contact box up to 6.5. Yeah.
Alright, over to tower, 626 November, we'll take care. Or 126.5, that's approach, sorry. 126.5.
Hey, Canada 3 Tango Bravo, turn left heading 300, intercept the localizer.
Localizer, what was the speed, sorry?
No speed Tango Bravo, it's a turn. Turn left heading 300, intercept the localizer.
0 on a turn for Canada 3 Tango Bravo, after localizer.
Thank you. That's American 103 Boston approach, maintain 1900 knots.
We have quite a line coming in here to Boston, actually.
Boston approach, good afternoon. Going to maintain 5,000, number DC 210.
Could be interesting.
We're going to maintain 5,000, then down to, we are currently at 210 American 900.
Boston approach, Duke 626 November, checking in 6,000.
2626 November Boston, Center to Jackson, needs off the approach. That's one. Number 66 November Boston approach, good afternoon. Caution wake turbulence following 837 on the approach.
6 November. Wake turbulence, alright.
American 9, actually disregard.
Alright, so as I'm looking at things, I'm just kind of describing this for downwind since he's driving. I see, currently landing is a 737. There's another one behind him, number 2. Number 3 is a third 737. Number 4 is a fourth. Then there's an A320 is 5 for arrival. And there's a A320 that's 6 for arrival. And then there's a 737-800 that is 7. So we're number 8 in line here. But we're following, we're following those 737. So
American 103, you're going to get a
shouldn't have to wait.
Localizer, and I'll put you in back on in a moment. So following 360, we're going to maintain 4,000, and you can expect a vector across the localizer to rejoin.
All right. 2976. By the way, I need to make that adjustment. I have not yet. 2976. We did also descend, so we need to turn our prop sync off, and we can put our taxi and landing lights on. It's now
Air Canada 3 Tango Bravo,
6:30 Eastern Time. We have 30 minutes.
Runway 27 approach, maintain 170 knots until
We're definitely not making it back to Nantucket.
American 103, turn left heading 250, intercept the localizer.
The other part about Boston right now is there's 40, count them, 40 departures. So
Air Canada 3 Tango Bravo,
we're going to get on the
30
ground,
approach, 170 knots until Ripon.
and that's going to be it for us today. But hey, we gave it a good try, and
170 knots
oops,
until
a
Ripon.
little bit of an overspeed here. Let's pull back the power slightly. Don't need to break anything else. We already broke the flaps once.
American 9, the traffic ahead of you has gone through the localizer. You can expect the same. I'll have a turn for you once you pass through.
After that, American 9.
November 626 November for traffic, expect to cross the localizer.
Understood, 626 November.
Number 26, correction, number 26, to maintain 5,000, number D speed of 150.
5,000 and 150, 626 November.
American 9, turn left heading 2.
All right.
Finish up the localizer.
So we're going to slow down. 150.
Air Canada, correction, American 103, 6 miles from Loner, descend to maintain 3,000 until established on the loader. Corrales, runway 27 approach, maintain 170 knots till lit. American 103,
Not seeing any traffic visually, but you can definitely see it on the map.
Loner, flight director Ripon. Number 6, turn left heading 330.
Right turn 330 for 626 November.
Westwind 209, fighting 09 to maintain 4,000.
0904,000, Westwood 209.
November to maintain 3,000.
3,000, 626 November.
American 1279 Boston approach, reduced to 190.
190, American 1279.
All right.
I
I read back.
Boston Tower, 2818.
Yes, I read back 330, so I got to get turned to 330. We're through the localizer, so we're coming back on the other side here.
American 9, turn left heading 250.
Speed looks good.
Localizer.
Speed looks good, 150.
250, American 9.
Actually a little slow, so let's give a little bit of power. There comes the glide slope, which is a beautiful sight. Speed coming back up to 150.
American 103, 2 miles from Loner, cross Loner 3,000, Corrales, runway 27 approach, maintain 170 knots per
Yeah, he actually snuck me in front of the
American 103, crossing Loner.
front of that big boy. Awesome.
Knots, clear Ripon.
Oh, easy. Easy on the speed there, my friend. 150, not 170.
29 at 4,000, reduced speed to 210.
209 currently, okay. 210 at 4,000, Westwood 2.
American 1279, starting 040.
I'm not descending. Why am I not descending?
American 1279, turn right heading 030.
Supposed to be down to 3,000. Dang it.
Right there, 3,000.
Don't want to get vectored here. That would be bad.
American 9, 3 miles from Loner, cross Loner 3,000, Corrales, runway 27 approach, maintain 170 knots per limit.
You end up getting vectored and put at the back of the queue. We may not be able to make it into Boston on time, let alone think about any other airfields.
Runway 26 November, thank you for your help. 1 miles from Crane. Turn left heading 300, cross Crane at above 3,000, Corrales, runway 27 approach.
Heading 300, across Crane at or above 3,000, cleared for the LS 27 approach, 626 November.
Westwind 209, turning 230.
Right, 230.
All right, we're going to get down to 3,000.
Number 26 November, maintain 170.
Okay. 170 until Ripon, 626 November. Okay, that we can do.
Westwind 209, is going to maintain 3,000. 3000, Westman 209.
American 103, kind of Boston Tower, 128.8.
So Ripon is Ripon. Where are you, Ripon? Rippon's
American 9.
5 DME, so we got to keep our speed up to 5. Here comes the localizer.
Pomona 3000 and 170 knots to Ripon, American 9er.
Westwind 209, 9 miles.
Couple of boats in the harbor.
Turn right heading 260.
Always cool.
Defend maintain 3000 until established on the localizer. Corrales runway
Okay, prop sync off, RPMs
260 and
come to high.
Runway 27 approach, Westwind 2.
We will add flaps here as we get a little bit closer.
Westwind 209, maintain 190 knots. So above.
And landing and taxi lights are on.
American 1279, heading 350, descend and maintain 4000.
Down 4000, American 1279.
American 9, kind of
Add a little bit of power back in. We got some big boys behind us. They don't want to be waiting on us, so let's
Tower 288, great job, American 9er, good day.
keep that 170. We do have tower coming up, I think. We better make sure. Yeah, Boston Tower 1288. I'll have that ready to go. All right, speed's better, 3,000 or above, so that's where we are. Quickly briefing the approach. Be crossing Loner at 3,000. Klein is the initial approach fix. It's 4,000 or above.
American 1279, maintain 170.
Missed approach. We're going to climb to 3,000 on the Boston 268 VOR DME. We're going to head out to the Bosox intersection, which is about 30 miles away, 29.9 DME, and we'll hold there. So basically,
Number 26 November, 128.
over to tower, 66 November. Sorry, just briefing that approach. Not paying attention. Well, I was, but I wasn't. And Boston Tower, hello, 626 November on the final 27.
American 180, climb maintain 3000, contact Boston departure 133.0, good day.
Oh, do we have a missed?
Friday 130, climb maintain 3000. Can you repeat the departure frequency again, please?
So left turn 180.
Okay, again, when we get to 5 DME, we can back off the speed. We're actually getting a little quick here, so we're going to go ahead and back off the speed.
Spearway 615, cross runway 27 on Charlotte.
Cross the track.
Southwest 5522, Boston Tower, good evening. Traffic going 737, correction, next arrival at 3 mile, no delay, cross runway 27 on Charlotte.
No delay, cross runway 27 on Charlie, Southwest 592.
I don't see anybody out in front of us here, so we are next. And Tower Duke 626 November on the approach, runway 27.
Number 626 November, Boston Tower, good evening. Number 2, following Boeing 737 on a mile final, wind 33013, gust 20, runway 27, clear to land.
27 clear to land, 626 November. Alright, trying to keep that speed up again. We want to make sure
you gotta move, sir.
Until 5 DME we are still 170.
Clear runway 27, Southwest 6522.
Spear wing 615, continue holding short runway 33 left, waiting on a blessing from Boston departure.
I can only try to dig it to
Boston
Tower.
Boston Tower, Westwood 209 or 170 to
Alright, there is
Westwind 209, Boston
just
Tower,
about 5 DME. We're going to go ahead and pull the power back a little bit. Time to get into flaps, so he's saying we're 3 mile final, so well within
Traffic, runway 27 clear to land.
well within flaps range, so we'll bring it down.
615, traffic out of 3 mile final, no delay, wind 33013,
Really don't need
gust 20, runway 33 left.
really don't need a whole heck of a lot of flaps. This is a nice long runway,
32
but
left, off runway, bearing 615.
a 7,000 foot runway, but
22, runway 33
we
left,
will get there.
Line up away, Southwest 6522.
First notch of flaps coming in.
American Niner, welcome to Boston, cross runway 22 left, continue echo, hold short runway 22 right.
Throw the gear in
Cross 22 left, echo,
for good measure.
right, American Niner. American Niner on the other side of the runway, ground point Niner, have a good one.
All right, taking the autopilot off.
Rolling on the ground, thank you very much.
Flight director can stay off. I didn't realize it was off. And we'll see if we can get this guy on the ground. There's some traffic. Somebody departing right ahead of me. Oh boy, this could be interesting.
500.
Hopefully I won't get tossed around in the wake turb after I land. There he goes, 3-3 left. Adios, amigo. Final notch of flaps. And everything's looking pretty good. A little bit high here, but
Boston Tower,
not terrible.
I'm sorry, I missed the call sign, say again.
American at 1279.
American 1279 Boston Tower, good evening. Number 4 miles of trail behind it. Correction, 5 miles of trail behind it. Runway 737, wind 33013, gust 20, runway 27.
Oh boy, there is some gustiness going on.
1229.
West wind 2091, departure prior to your arrival.
Okay, copy the departure prior.
Southwest 5522, wind 33013, gust 20, runway 2, correction, runway 33 left. Actually, continue holding.
Okay, we want to get the heck out of here. Get off the runway, get off the runway. Echo, we'll take Echo. Alright, Echo is good. Let's get her all the way slowed down here. Get past the hold short. It's not really, yeah, it's a hold short line. Alright.
Number 626 November, welcome to Boston. Cross runway 22 left, hold short runway 22 right, and call ground 1.9. Good night.
Cross 22 left, hold short 22 right, and over to ground point 9er, 626 November. Good night. Well, I have made the executive decision here that after 6 hours and 43 minutes of flight time today, we are not going to push it. We're going to go ahead we're not going to push it. We're going to just taxi up to signature and call it good for tonight. Here's some stuttering. We had some issues with stuttering in the King Air.
American 1279, one departure for you prior to your arrival.
Might just be a scenery, more of a scenery deal than I thought. All this traffic, though, I think is part of it.
Southwest 5522, wind 33013, gust 20,
so
runway 33 left, clear for takeoff.
We're across to left. We're going to jump over to ground.
American 1159,
And
runway
with
3.
40 departures, good luck trying to get a hold of them. Oh, hey. And Boston ground. Good evening, Duke. 626 November. We are across 22 left on Echo, holding short 22 right. Well, not holding short 22 right.
November 626, November Boston ground. Exit to parking, then via Echo Bravo, cross runway 22 right on Echo.
Echo Bravo, cross 22 right on Echo. 626 November. Alright, so Echo
Southwest
Bravo. So straight ahead, basically.
Runway 33 left.
And the last card I drew was the King of Spades, so that didn't do squat for me.
Taxi 233 left, via Charlie 22 right.
King of Spades. Well, I don't think a pair of sixes is going to get a whole lot. But that's okay. What a fun event, regardless. And while I taxi in, let me just take a second to express my appreciation and gratitude to all the ATC, not just in the Boston area, but in the VAT Sim community in general. You guys are top-notch. I've said it many times, and I'll continue to say it. You take this sim to the next level. You add a level of realism that when I had my first flight sim game, I could have never imagined. And so thank you so much for all you do. Thanks for all your hard work, for your dedication, for your skill, professionalism, patience with me when I make dumb mistakes. And you will definitely see me and hear from me many times in the future. For the Boston guys, if you end up listening to this, thanks so much for another fantastic Boston Tea Party. You guys are without a doubt,
Boston ground air Canada 523.
if not the best, one of the best airspaces in the VAT Sim world. And I just enjoy every flight every minute I spend up here. I enjoy it. So thank you so much again for all you guys do. And yeah, you'll see me on your radar quite often. Maybe even later this week. Downwind Sim, thanks for checking in, my friend. You're welcome. I'm glad I could help you pass the time a little bit. You know, looking at the clock here, only 13 minutes. There's no way I'm gonna get to parking, get a new clearance, taxi to the to 3 left, and get anywhere in 13 minutes. So we're just gonna go ahead and enjoy the final taxi in here. Hey, we got a 737 heading out. That's pretty darn cool. Actually, I have a lot of really cool traffic around here. A bunch of guys stacked up in Charlie there. But yeah, we're gonna get over to Signature. I think it's time. We've earned our $100 hamburger, maybe even an extra piece of pie.
I'm get a few cars so I can win that event. I'm holding short off on ready for taxi.
You ain't getting anywhere, buddy. You ain't getting anywhere, dude. Sorry. 13 minutes, you're done.
Okay, JetBlue 1752 that was.
Yep, the one and only.
That guy wants to win, baby. Hate to break it to you. Hate to break it to you, but the event is over in 13 minutes. So unless you're planning on, I don't even think you could fly one traffic pattern in 13 minutes. Not in a, I think he's in a freaking Airbus, like A320 or something. I don't think you can fly one pattern, so not sure what he thinks he's going to get done. But anyway, downwind, I'm happy you were able to pass a little bit of time listening to the adventures of Melvin Leroy and his broken Beechcraft Duke 60.
American at 1279.
It's been a heck of a lot of fun. So coming up on the channel,
Charlie Alpha crossing runway 22 right on
next kind of scheduled day is coming up this coming Wednesday. We'll do another small airport event. Haven't quite decided what I'm gonna feature this time, but may have another international feel. I have several of those that I still need to test out. So there's a good chance we could have a little international small airport day on Wednesday, and then next Friday it's a Portlandia Friday night ops, and so we are planning on being there.
Or number 851 Tango Bravo.
There is a chance Monday, depending on how things shake out,
Number 851 Tango
we may try to
Taxi
tune
via
in and
Bravo, hold short Charlie.
pester our friend Rob from Slant Alpha Adventures as he continues, I think, his great lower 48
Endeavor 3403.
Beach 58 tour, whatever he's calling that crazy tour of his. He's getting pretty close to where I live, and so I'm gonna make sure that make sure that we're keeping a close eye on him so he doesn't disturb the buffalo when he flies past Wyoming. So anyway, that's about it. Let's run through the shutdown checklist here. We're gonna pull the prop and mixture levers back. Go ahead, turn the lights off.
Crossing ground 3024, ready for taxi.
Panel lights off. Prop sync is already. Oh, I gotta get my flaps up. Should have cleaned up earlier. The gen will come off. Auto ignition will come off.
Austin Valley within 2848 with information Yankee.
All my engine temperatures have come down nicely. Master avionics off, inverter off, battery off, and that's it. And that's not only it for the Duke, that's it for today's part 2 of the Boston Tea Party. Thanks again for checking in. If you happen to be around later on and you stumble upon this, cool. I do archive everything on my YouTube channel. Let me know what you think. What can I do to improve, get better, all that good stuff. Until next time, I'll be looking for you on the TCAS. Take care and God bless.